What's up folks, it's CrushSG, and yes, the GITS update has arrived, and I gotta say, it was a way bigger update than I was expecting. When Baba Booey reached out to ask me to hold off on the showcase until the update dropped, I was under the impression it would just be a couple of lighting fixes. Now I understand why it was better for me to wait. The 3.X update reworked and fixed a bunch of things with the mod and the game. It repackaged mod files, added some features, and it's looking like the mod is finally at, or at least approaching, its final form. Thus, this showcase is only going to focus largely on what 3.X has to offer. I'll throw in a couple of brief comparisons to previous versions only where applicable. Also, as most of you know, I don't run an Nvidia graphics card, and I'm not about to do a showcase with half-assed AMD RT settings. It just wouldn't do anything justice. So all clips featured in this video are going to be raster only clips, and my take on the mod is likewise going to be from a rasterized only perspective. Now this video looks like it'll be a longer one, so timestamps to navigate around the video, as always. You know, I say that in almost every video, but I can tell from some of the comments that many don't use the timestamp feature, so let's play a little game in this video. I'm gonna say timestamps at various points in the video, and if you happen to hear me say it at least once, drop a comment below saying use the timestamps folks. Alright, let's go over the features. The comparisons and installation instructions will come after that. So as a general overview, GITS is a long-standing lighting mod by the author Baba Booey. It is not only one of the first lighting mods I ever personally tried, it is also one of the mods that got me started into modding Cyberpunk. GITS is of course the abbreviation for Ghost in the Shell, which is the original inspiration of this mod. GITS is a very extensive lighting mod that comes with a bunch of special features, most of which are geared toward increasing immersion. There are 4 main feature sets as of version 3.x, and this is what they do. First we have Relight, which does a lot of things. It fixes a bunch of broken lighting situations in the base game itself, as shown on the mod page. There are enough examples posted there to properly show what it does, so I didn't go around hunting for specific in-game examples. It also disables the intrusive fog from vanilla that can sometimes reduce visibility to basically nothing, usually in the rainy weather conditions. Now it doesn't remove all the fog, it just makes it such that you can see more than 3 feet in front of you. Now in addition to this, it brings car interior illumination from local lights, and this local light illumination is currently only available in vanilla cars, so you may or may not see the differences if you use modded cars like the GTR and stuff like that. And Relight also enables various holograms around Night City to cast light on the surroundings. I'm talking about the fast travel points, some of the holograms in Jig Street. Those don't typically cast light on the surrounding area in vanilla. Well, they do now with Relight. But wait, there's more. See, I told you Relight did a lot of things. It also replaces some of the bulbs on the doors in the H10 apartment building. See, the thing about H10 is some of the lights on top of the doors didn't actually cast any light on the area in front of them, and I guess Baba Booey felt that was annoying. So what Relight additionally does is it replaces the bulbs on some of these doors that don't cast light. It replaces it with broken bulbs that kind of flicker on and off. You know, it's just to fit the overall look, right? It just makes a bit more logical sense as you walk through the H10 building. And lastly, Relight also includes Reflash, which enhances muzzle flashes, making them more impactful, more bombastic. This feature used to be called Immersive Flash, now it has been renamed to Reflash. Okay, the next feature we have is Reglass, and this enables reflections in the interiors of glass windows in vehicles. It also includes Metro Glass, which enables reflections on the windows in the metro. It's kind of like what we saw in the E3 footage, basically. And the third feature we have is the Perfect or Is It Rain, which is GITS' own enhanced variant of Sosuin's improved Or Is It Rain mod. Now this basically makes rain and wet weather look worlds better than vanilla. From how the rain itself looks to the puddles on the ground and the general environment wetness, everything just looks better. Now, important to note is at time of recording, there is a bug that some have encountered with GITS 3.X, which prevents any rain or weather transitions from happening. I believe Baba Booey has isolated the problem, so hopefully a fix for it drops sometime soon. And finally, we have Remedia. I have covered this mod as a standalone mod in a previous video. It was called Immersive Media back then, so I'll just insert a clip from that video here to explain what Remedia does. And this is a vanilla-centric ad replacer and enhancement mod. And what vanilla-centric basically means is it does not change the content of the vanilla ads, but rather it replaces some of the hand-painted ads with realistic rendered versions. Immersive media affects almost every ad in the game, as well as also rebuilding vending machine textures to make them significantly sharper and clearer. It also adds 2 new ads referencing the Edge Runners anime, but it does so in a very lore-centric way by posing them as ads for a TV show based on real-life events. That's a really smart way to include the Edge Runners reference into the mix, whilst keeping things vanilla and canon. Okay, those were the features. Let's talk about the variants. As of 3.X, there are 4 variants offered by GITS. 2 are in all-in-one packages and 2 are just color grading LUTs. The 2 all-in-ones are Legacy and Fuji, which are listed in the main file section. And the 2 LUTs are Korea and Showa, which are listed in the optional file section. The LUTs for Legacy and Fuji are also listed in the optional section if you want. Now, Legacy is of course the OG GITS, which is inspired by the 2017 live-action film and the 1995 anime adaptation. It features the color grading to match, as well as weather favoring more rain and a generally more dark, overcast condition. Conversely, Fuji is inspired by the standalone Complex series, which has a different, brighter color palette. Quoting the description, Fuji is soft light spreading, accented by crisp value contrast and vibrant hues. Fuji features more rain variants than vanilla, but isn't as rainy and overcast heavy as Legacy. Now with Korea, we have the most natural looking GITS LUT with the least embellishments. And for Showa, that's just a personal detour for Baba Booey. Quoting the description, it takes inspiration from a peculiar film print with mature tones and rich contrast. Both Korea and Showa were made to be run with the Fuji ENV, which is also listed in the optional file section. I'll talk about installation later on in the video. Timestamps. Okay, onto the comparisons, and we'll start off with the vanilla side-by-sides with both the Legacy and the Fuji all-in-ones. Okay, that was Legacy and Fuji. Next we have the comparisons of all 4 LUTs. I am using the Fuji ENV for parity across all clips except for the Legacy clip because it is the only one that doesn't use the Fuji ENV. And those were the LUTs. As for how the 3.X update compares to the 2.8 versions, I'll roll the clips and talk over them. So Legacy 3X looks to be a little less harsh while also being a tiny bit more saturated than Legacy 2.8. But honestly, the difference isn't huge at all. I'd frankly struggle to differentiate one from the other at a quick glance. But ultimately, I prefer Legacy 3X because I did find 2.8 a little bit too harsh and too contrasty. Now Fuji, on the other hand, much bigger differences. Fuji 3X seems way softer than Fuji 2.8, almost hazier as well. 2.8 carries more contrast, more saturation, and better overall clarity. I suspect the 3X ENV may have bumped up the bloom a little over the one used in 2.8. That could explain the softer feeling in 3X in general. I'd have to say that in the case of Fuji, I prefer 2.8 to 3.X, strictly from a color and clarity perspective. Now, all that said, the main thing about Update 3.X really is the lighting fixes and the other feature improvements. I'm honestly surprised that a lot of these improvements and features were even noticeable in Raster. I would have expected most of the benefits to be visible only with ray tracing or path tracing enabled, as is the case with many of the graphical effects in Cyberpunk. So maybe the ray tracing or path tracing folks out there can chime in on how the improvements look with those things enabled. Surely it must be even better than what I see in Raster. Anyway, so that's how everything looks. So how do we use the mod? I know it can be daunting considering all that is offered by GITS and the number of files on the mod page, so here's a breakdown. If you want the full GITS experience, pick either GITS Legacy or GITS Fuji from the main file section. Only use one of them at any given time, not both. Follow the installation instructions at the bottom of the mod description page and extract the zip into your Cyberpunk folder. If you have never installed the mod before, I have a guide on how to do so, linked in the description. Now once the mod is installed, be sure to install the hotfix that is listed in the main file section. The hotfix needs to be installed regardless of what variant or version of GITS that you use, even if you just use the ENVs. If you use the Vortex Mod Manager, you will get a rule prompt where you should tell Vortex to load GITS before the hotfix. Now the fast travel fixer file is optional and should only be installed if you are having problems specifically with fast travel points. Not everyone has this problem. Now once you've done all this, you're good to go. Alternatively, if you want to give Courier or Showa a try, or if you just want the GITS features, but have your own preferred LUT or advert mod that you'd like to use, pick the Fuji ENV. Install the hotfix, install the LUT of your choice, use whatever advert mod you want, and you're good to go. Now, if you want the GITS features but don't want the advert mod or the interior vehicle reflections, use Fuji ENV Basic. Install the hotfix, install the LUT of your choice, and you are good to go. Now, if you're bothered by the rain bug where lights and smoke flicker during certain weather transitions, install the less perfect rain file, which reduces the quality of rain effects but addresses that specific bug. I personally don't use it because the bug is very infrequent, only occurring in specific situations. And if you run RT but don't have a supercomputer, download the RT low file, which reels back the RT optimizations made by the default GITS. And finally, the one big thing to note here is, if you want the Legacy experience specifically, your single best option is to go for the Legacy all-in-one file. Legacy is the only variant of GITS that uses its own unique ENV, and at time of posting, the Legacy ENV is not available as a standalone option. Fuji, Korea, and Showa were all built on top of the Fuji ENV, so running them with the Fuji ENV gives the intended look. Running the Legacy LUT with the Fuji ENV, however, does not produce the same look as the Legacy AIO. The image will be blown out, you need to bump up your gamma somewhere in the realm of 1.15 or 1.2, but even then, I don't recommend it. Legacy enjoyers should just stick to the Legacy all-in-one. Timestamps, by the way. Okay, let's wrap things up. GITS has always been one of my favorite mods when it comes to themed cinematic lighting mods, and that's important to remember here because the goal is a theme, or a specific look, rather than, say, being photoreal or true to life. So to that end, I think Update 3.X 100% delivers. It not only brings a lot of features with it, it also fixes a lot of issues with the base game's lighting. As for my personal pick, I like Legacy the most. It is the original GITS, I'm a fan of the GITS anime, and I like the rainy overcast look that comes with Legacy. As for Fuji, well, to sum Fuji up in just one word, that word would be pink. It's just the first thing that always comes to my mind when I load up Fuji. Everything looks kinda pink. I guess the Fuji look just doesn't quite work for me, though I know from the comments on my showcases that Fuji is actually quite a popular variant among users, so if you like it, that's awesome. And on to Korea, and this is definitely the most natural looking of the four LUTs. But as I said earlier, I like GITS as a heavily themed mod. And as far as natural looking LUTs go, there are other LUTs that I personally would go to for the natural or maybe the photoreal side of things, like Nova LUT perhaps. And then we have Showa, and I get the feeling that Showa is going to be a love it or hate it thing among users. I personally really like it, and frankly I almost like it as much as I like Legacy, maybe even as much. Something about the tone of Showa just gives the game a completely different feel. But yeah, these are just my opinions, folks. Hopefully I have provided enough footage and details for you to make up your own minds about it one way or the other. And that's it for my GITS showcase, folks. As always, all the necessary links will be in the description, so head on over there. Drop a comment below letting me know which LUT you like best, or maybe if GITS isn't for you, drop a comment anyway sharing how you like to run the game. Remember to submit bug reports if you encounter any bugs with the mods that you use. It helps the authors improve their mods, and always endorse the mods if you like them to show your support. On that note, if you found this video helpful and want to show me some support, go ahead and crush that like button and sub if you want to get notified of my future uploads. I'm currently also playing Palworld at the moment and will be putting out videos for that too. That's all for now, folks. I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.